Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks for having me.
All right. In broad strokes, what concerns have you raised in your affidavit to the Speaker of the National Assembly?
Peter, thanks. I have raised concerns with the Speaker mainly because Parliament is the oversight institution to which the public protector as an institution reports for its budget expenditure as well as its operations. So given the fact that the Speaker agreed to entertain the complaint lodged by one of the political parties, mainly the DA, in Parliament, I felt that the atmosphere is safe for myself and other colleagues of mine to come forward and raise the issues that are happening within the institution. We are taking Parliament into our confidence, mainly the Speaker, and raising these issues because the Public Protector, Advocate Mkhwebane, has access to the media, and she has blocked all of us, staff from communicating with anyone. And the impression out there is that the staff is fine with whatever is happening, and the organization is running smoothly, when in fact it is not. One of the issues I raised...
What has she done wrong?
Okay, I'm coming to that. One of the issues is that, she's pursuing, she's litigating recklessly, and in a manner that leaves one with no doubt but to conclude that she's fighting her own personal or political battles to protect some individuals in the political sphere, and that is litigating and defending and or opposing or bringing action that does not help the entire institution but results in financial loss. An example is that in the financial year that we're in now, 2019-2020, we budgeted as an institution an unprecedented amount of 10 million rands. But as at the end of the third quarter, we had already surpassed that amount by almost the same. We just exceeded 20 million rands. And there's another 17 million or so still committed for the last quarter, ending end of March.
All right.
That is one example.
Let's get into some specifics now. The Estina Dairy Farm report, did she interfere with that one? Because you were involved in that yourself.
Yes, Peter, she did. Unfortunately, I cannot speak about those specific details. I've taken the Speaker into my confidence and Parliament, and I will only disclose those to that forum, to the forum, whichever forum I'm asked to disclose them to the Speaker, and then thereafter everyone will then have access to them. I have to respect the fact that besides the process, the fact that we've referred it to the Speaker, there is also, this matter is also before courts, because I understand she is appealing the decision that led to the review of that report.
All right, so tell us a little...
As an officer of the court, I cannot...
All right, without going into details then, but there were some things that she did that you raised. For example, the peer review mechanism, which you called the think tank. What was that for? And she dismantled it. Yes,
that was the forum where all provincial managers like myself and all other senior managers at head office that are involved in the core function, which is investigations and reporting. That is where we met, and some senior investigators. That's where we all met at least once a quarter or as and when the public protector determines. But this committee functioned perfectly during the time of Mr. Mushwana and Advocate Madonsela, where we gave input in terms of the law, the facts. We looked at all reports before they got okayed to be released. She terminated that soon after she took over, so that she then has the sole decision, the sole decision on what report and how it should it should be released. We send reports from the provinces, but we don't have any control once they get to her. She doesn't come back to us to say what is. I don't agree with this. Right, please let us do so it. She changes them on her own.
All right. So what you were saying is that this think tank was almost, you sit down, look at the reports, and agree on law, agree on what should stay in the report, basically checking each other's work. And ultimately that guided the public protector into signing whether a report, the final report. And you're saying that she's done away with that, and now she decides all by herself what goes into a report and what comes out.
Correct, yes. And this peer review committee was comprised of people like myself who have been practicing attorneys before we joined this office, and practicing advocates, so people that know the practical application of the law, and we can reconcile the facts to the law and so on. And she doesn't have that experience. She just terminated it so that it doesn't go with our input. And I think that is the direct result of why we're getting so many reviews against her reports.
All right. In your affidavit, you've also said that she lacks legal knowledge. I mean, she's a whole advocate. What do you mean?
That's precisely, the point. The basis upon which she challenges or she lodges this litigation clearly demonstrates that she doesn't, she lacks that knowledge. Or if she only has a law degree. I don't think she has practiced law. Which is why she makes elementary mistakes, in law, and relies on advice from people that I believe are using her and are misleading her, as a result.
All right. She says that people of sound mind should think carefully. Why suddenly are all these affidavits coming forward, and that it's all part of trying to influence Parliament in this process of discussing her fitness for office. Why are you only bringing this up now, particularly since you're facing your own disciplinary action for a crime that you were found guilty of?
Peter, she deliberately omits to state that I have lodged an appeal immediately after that guilty verdict. I lodged an appeal. She deliberately, omits to mention that, because my view is that the matter is not settled. Where the office was supposed to protect me, she's persecuting me. And as far as I'm concerned, as I'm sitting here, and it's been 3 years that I first got a letter from HR indicating that they intend charging me following that guilty verdict. And up until today, they have not. And this is her modus operandi. She lets, she charges people and makes charges hang over their heads and wants to use them. I knew this was going to be her defense, which is why I disclosed it in my affidavit. It is there for everyone to read. And she doesn't have the appreciation that, when a matter is pending, she only uses that argument when it suits her. When a matter is pending before court by way of an appeal or review, you can't act on the verdict of that court until it has been finally ventilated.
All right. She says that she can't rule out the possibility that various people, and by inference, I think pointing to you as well, that you might be being used by external parties who want to see her removed as the public protector. Are you being used by any third parties?
Not at all. I'm an independent person. I've been with the office for 20 years. My concern is, the institution and the people that work in the, within the institution that live in fear. I don't have anyone influencing me, and I'm in this as an individual alone, and I'm hoping and I'm challenging some of my colleagues to come forward, because I know I received a lot of lots of calls from my colleagues, spending me on giving support, but I know that they are afraid to come forward. And for those of them that have promised to come forward, I'm saying please do the right thing. Come forward, especially people at head office. Come forward and say what is happening. I'm not being influenced by anyone.
All right. Before this parliamentary process, was there no other recourse, no other place that you could go to if there was a concern about something within the Public Protector's Office?
There was, and that was the ad hoc committee to which we report. But we lost faith in that committee. Because it was, we came to the conclusion that it was protecting her, and that is the committee that was chaired at the time by Dr. Matole Mutsecha, and politicians that have been found to be questionable, like Bongani Bongo, were serving there. We once attended, as the whole provincial leadership, we attended a session where she was briefing that committee. It was the first time within a week when she got here, and that was the last time. And we saw how much they were sucking up to her and seeking to protect her. We lost faith in that process. The reason why I came forward now was because there is a definite process that is going to be done by a different committee other than the panel that's going to determine the fitness to hold office. And I believe in that in that process. I believe in the bona fides of the speaker, which is why we approached her now. The timing and everything has got nothing. It is only because of the different process now.
All right, and then perhaps finally, what's your fear if the Public Protector keeps her job?
My fear is that I'm going to be fired, but I'm not going to take it lying down. And as some things were said and done today, following the reports over the weekend, that indicate that they are after me. They're now trying to find. The very fact that I'm talking to you, they want to charge me for speaking to the media, and it is perfectly my right, as to who I speak to. She has the right because she has put an embargo, so to speak, by changing policies so that we don't get to speak. I'm not speaking on behalf of the office. I'm speaking against her and her practices.
All right, Mr. Samuel, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks very much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us on the SABC News channel. All right. Well, it's now official.